In May of this year, Konami dropped a ban list in the middle of a YCS. This absolute GigaChad move sparked outrage and exasperation as numerous content creators missed the opportunity for free reaction revenue, and hammered home the reality that Konami doesn't give one flying fortress about anybody's schedule but their own. Fair enough, didn't really impact me honestly, and the mad dash to put out hurried cell phone reaction content in between rounds was hilarious, and made the weeks of everyone who got to sit back and watch. But this time, Konami has gone too far. I have not posted a video in 4 months, lending to school and schedules and yada yada. We're all on the same page. I removed the video explaining the whole thing because it's over now and nobody cares anymore, but yesterday I scheduled a video to drop, my first in months, one that I was very proud of and couldn't wait to share. Konami released a ban list 2 minutes after my video went live. I cannot tell a lie. The first viewers to my comeback video hadn't even made it to the funny en passant joke before their discords and X's pinged, and everybody flocked to see LMN or Flooful scream to high heavens about Harp Horror to 1. So anyway, here's my reaction to the ban list. Obviously, this isn't a blind reaction, and will just be my gut feelings about the various changes and whatnot. My videos require a bit more editing than a stream VOD, so this will go up the day after. Hopefully it makes some meaningful contribution to the space. Let's start with the bans. Honestly, we've got some solid hits this time around, which isn't always the case. Too often, Konami just slaps a ban on the boss monster of whatever $500 deck they gassed up 6 months ago and calls it a day. But these are some interesting hits. We got a Guido, Kelbeck, Circular, and he sold all to 0, and man do I have some feelings about these. Agido and Kelbeck getting hit is probably for the best, even though I hate it personally. I thought Power of the Elements was one of the coolest sets in recent memory, and the support from Mavens really introduced so many creative and cool interactions and game states that I'm sad to see them go. Even if they were incredibly strong and teetering on degenerate, everybody has a hit that they just have to nod their head and passively accept, and that's these two idiots for me. Circular Band is a travesty. Anybody who has taken time to watch our content on this channel, Draft Duel and NR Showdown in particular, know that Luke and I are big fans of MathMech, Cyber's Pile, that whole shebang. It was a very powerful enabler, but it didn't enable anything unfair or game-breaking. This is a bad hit, and it seems stupid that Cybers is getting punished for having a one-card starter, something which is basically ubiquitous the whole game through nowadays. Isolde is a good hit. I think we're quickly running out of dumb generic Link 2s that shouldn't have been put in the game in the first place. I'm going to convince myself that what broke the camel's back with this card is the new Phoenix Gearblade card coming out in Maze of Millennia. Keep an eye out for that video, by the way. The limits. You can't see it right now, but I'm doing the pasta thing where you put your fingers to your lips and make a kissing motion to signify perfecto, because I think that these are almost entirely great. Shavara is a quality hit to Unchained, reducing the deck's consistency without unfairly taking the deck out of the metagame. Some would argue that this hit doesn't do enough, some would argue that this hit was unnecessary. You're both pretty girls, but I'm not mad. Airlifter was a no-brainer hit to Rescue Ace, as the card enabled effortless searching of emergency and could tag out to even bigger idiots. I think this means the deck is going to have to lean into the Diabell Star package more, which is a hit to the deck's budget status, but take it from me, personal experience. Firefighters have been historically willing to go break for enablers of such quality. Redox does less than nothing, but is really cool for all the fossil duelists out there. Harp Horror. Man, okay, listen. Harp Horror. Let me tell you how happy this makes me. I have had to sit by, watching, for years, as all of the old TOS format staples are welcome back, given new support. Oh man, I would literally die for Ray. We're going to have to make an entire set around Salamandrates. Admittedly, Thunder Dragons have been put in the closet, but whatever, they deserve it. Only to watch my boy Harp Horror sit on the ban list, forgotten. This is a very good day. Gozen, Rivalry, Teekboo. Good riddance. You should all be banned. I'll take what I can get. I think that's the pretty common reaction out here, and I think it's the correct one. As an Altergeist main, I got absolutely clobbered by Teekboo more than I care to admit, so rot in hell, please forget to write. Additionally, thanks Konami for not hitting Secret Village. The Ghost Girls appreciate it. The check is in the mail. Dry Ass and Healers to 1. Europe is literally in shambles. I don't feel strongly about these hits despite my affection for plants from our Draft Duel series. I'm not some vestige of a fading society, so I don't know what plants do, but they probably deserve it. Ib is probably a mistake. Sword Soul Bros, we just can't keep getting away with this. Two of my pet decks in Swoswo and Dino both make good use of this lady, and whereas Denglong came back with a whimper, this one will probably do something. On to the semis. Sleeping Memory is a hit that they likely envisioned when they created the deck. When you've got a deck focused on excavating, ratios and numbers of available key cards actually matter, unlike in decks that simply search for them. Dino Wrestler Pankratops. Dino Bros, we are so back. Pank is a powerhouse generic, which is no doubt going to find its way into sideboards, and that it can be relied upon with a bit more frequency. Something about impact cards being at 1 makes them less appealing. I like this. Loosen the reins. Free Miscellaneousaurus next. Last but not least, we have Speedroid Terratop. This is certainly a powerful generic enabler, and if there's a deck that can abuse the free body and access to a rank 3 or link 2, it could see play. I don't know that its effect is worth playing a 2-1 starter Garnet ratio in the year of our Lord, but I'm sure that someone will experiment with it. Alright, strap in. We're going to power through these unlimits. They're crazy, but there's a lot of them. Infernity Archfiend. I don't know what this card does because I'm not 40 years old. I keep hearing there's like combos, but getting hype for Infernity combos when we just banned Agido seems like a brand of cope that you can't buy at Publix. Kashtira Unicorn is a based change, and I'm here for it. Now you can reliably Pank Unicorn into Big Eye? Pretty good. Mind Control is cope until I lose to it. Spellbook of Judgment is a card that I cannot fairly judge because the dual logs has completely warped my perception of its power level over the years. Upstart Goblin to 3 is a buff to strikers, which has me googling the nearest bridge. Pot of Desires to 3 is great because the one thing that my Sword Soul deck was missing was the ability to banish both Long Wands for an additional copy of Desires, and Sprite Starter is one of the cards of all time. Wow, that's quite the list for a format that pretty much everyone considers to be one of the more balanced and low power in recent memory, especially when there are no major events around the corner, but clearly I'm not as mega-mind as the devs up at Konami. All in all, I have very few complaints about this list, and look forward to the meta up ahead. No videos for the rest of the week. Next video will be next Monday or Tuesday. Keep an eye out. Love you guys. Remember to wash behind your ears.